crime. Okay, and the story was not considered, it was not such a big news, a normal murder, everything was totally fine. Next, this is a very important part of the text. Very important part of the text. So the foundation for nearly everything written or said about the foundation, we said foundation is the basis or yesod. Everything afterwards that is written about the Genovese murder was a New York Times article. New York Times, אולי אתם יודעים, זה עיתון מאוד מאוד חשוב בארצות הברית, בניו יורק, קוראים לזה New York Times, which was not published, זה לא היה מפורסם, רק 2 weeks after the crime. שבועיים אחרי הפשע. The idea for the article had been conceived at a lunch between two men. And there were two men sitting at lunch. They conceived of Hashvu al Rayon. Ann Rosenthal, an editor of the paper, and Michael Joseph Murphy, the city's police commissioner. The city's police commissioner is the head of the police. Rosen was told by Murphy that 38 people had watched Kitty Genovese being murdered without calling the police. Rosenthal, the head of the police, told Murphy, the head of the police, told Rosenthal, who was an important editor at New York Times, that 38 people watched Kitty James being murdered. About 38 people watched this whole thing, this whole story that I told you above, and nobody called the police. Murphy may have exaggerated, אולי Murphy הגזים, בגלל באמת it's embarrassing for the police. Okay? This is very not nice for the police, this whole story. Reporter Mark Inganzo was sent to New Gardens to write the story. 4 days later, on March, one of the most famous sentences in newspaper history appeared on the front page. The front page of the New York Times, this was the story. This is the story that is brought in textbooks, and this is the main idea of our text, of our video, and everything surrounding what this unit is about. So for more than half an hour, חצי שעה, יותר, 38, 38, respectable זה לשון respect, מכובד, law abiding, אנשים שומרי חוק, in Queens watched, הסתכלו, killer, רוצח, stalk, and stabbed, דוקר, a woman in 3 separate attacks in New York. 38 people were sitting in their rooms, and they were all watching this whole thing happen. Watching it happen. They're watching her being stabbed for a half an hour and then being raped. Everybody's watching. Nobody called the police. That's what they said in the New York Times. Twice the sound of their voices and the sudden glow of the bedroom lights interrupted him and frightened him off. 2 times they put on their lights in their rooms, and they wanted to see what's going on. He went off, but then he came back because he realized nobody was going to be there. Each time he returned, kol pam shu chazar, he saw her, he went after and stabbed the אותה. Not one person telephoned the police. אף אחד לא יקשר למשטרה, one witness, עד אחד, יקשר אחרי האישה מתה. That's the story. This is the major story of our text. Now, question is where our article takes it. Hey. Okay, so let's look at the introduction. So the introduction: how reliable we have in here. We mentioned Simchut, our social science textbooks from which students learn. מאיפה הסטודנטים לומדים? Are widely accepted social science theory, תיאוריות in social science, in psychology, in sociology, מה שמקובל, תיאוריות מקובלות, based, מבוססות on trustworthy sources, על מקורות trustworthy, זה לשון נאמנות. If a hypothesis can we really trust what we're learning in our textbooks? If hypothesis is השערה, is accepted as true, despite the lack of proof, השערה זה מקובל שאמת, despite, למרות, the lack of proof, אין ראיות. השערה מקבלים את זה באמת בלי ראיות. כן? How easily will people's perceptions, איך זה יקל לתפיסות של אנשים, of the truth is to change when later research, וכשמה שהמחקרים האחרים demonstrate something else to be correct. This is a very difficult sentence, so I'm going to just spend a minute on it here. So, יש לנו פה hypothesis. זה השערה of truth despite a lack of proof. השערה שמקובל אפילו שאין ראיות. כולם מקבלים את זה. אז all of a sudden פתאום יש לנו פה ראיות נגד אותו השערה שכבר התקבל כאמת. אז אם יהיה לנו קל לקבל את האמת החדשה. זאת השאלה. Okay, next. At times, social science theories and textbooks believed to be based on facts. It's believed facts, עובדות, are actually based on unsupported claims and even untruths. באמת העובדות שם באותם textbooks, באמת זה לא אמת, בכלל, unsupported claims, טענות ללא תמיכה, ללא סמכות. To examine the above questions, it is instructive to scrutinize a case which plays a fundamental part in the field of social psychology. באמת להבין את השאלות האלו, באמת אפשר לסמוך על אותם מקרים ואותם תיאוריות. Let's look at this case. What case? Is the murder of City Genovese and the way it was exploited. בדיוק the murder, הרצח של קיטי ונש, what we talked about before. ואיך הם ניצלו את זה, כדי to exemplify the apparently apathy displayed by a large number of passengers. כדי להראות את apathy. Apathy is a word we're going to see a lot in this text. Apathy here means that people didn't care. People didn't do anything. That apparently when there's a lot of, we're going to see this idea in the rest of the text, that when there's a lot of people, psychological theory, that when there's a lot of people around, people feel that somebody else is going to do the right thing, which is not the case if there's only one person. So this is basically a bit of an introduction to the text of the way it's going to go. We went through the body of the text because I think it was very important to really understand well the whole event, because it's also going to be you're also going to see this in the movie as well. This whole event, and then the text is going to continue talking about the event, and it's going to bring some facts about the event, and then in the end it's going to talk about the textbooks and if we can really trust the textbooks or not. Again, I'm going to talk to you this more about in the class, go more into detail. The conclusion I'm not going to go through now. I'm going to save the conclusion of the class because we already passed 15 minutes, and that's the limit for a video. But okay, I hope it was a good introduction to the text, the unit, and from here we'll get a deeper understanding.